The South China Sea shimmered under a relentless sun on October 17, 2025. HMS Prince of Wales, a British aircraft carrier, cut through calm waters on a mission to assert freedom of navigation. Suddenly, alarms shattered the calm. This was no drill. Instantly, the crew snapped into action, racing to their stations. On the bridge, new radar contacts appeared, fast-moving, closing in. The ship was alive, bracing for confrontation in contested waters. The Prince of Wales was now a fortress at sea, ready for whatever came next. 3 Chinese warships appeared on the horizon, a destroyer and 2 frigates, slicing through the sea with intent. Their presence was no accident. They were here to challenge the British mission. Over the radio, a stern voice crackled. "British warship, you are entering Chinese waters. Change course immediately." The British captain listened, calm and resolute, and replied, "We are in international waters and will maintain our course." The Chinese ships closed in, their intent unmistakable. The 2 sides had drawn their lines. Neither would back down. The next moments would decide everything. The standoff was set. The radio crackled with threats from the Chinese destroyer. Final warning: change course or face consequences. The British captain stood firm, refusing to respond. Suddenly, British radar screens flickered, electronic jamming. The destroyer veered dangerously close, forcing the British to adjust course. The standoff teetered on a knife's edge. The sky above the Prince of Wales filled with new threats. A Chinese drone buzzed overhead, its cameras recording every move. The sailors felt the weight of constant surveillance. Soon, a Chinese Z-9 helicopter lifted off, circling at a distance, hunting for British submarines. The British responded, launching a Merlin helicopter, its radar scanning far beyond the horizon. The air became a chessboard, both sides maneuvering for advantage. Drones and helicopters from both navies crisscrossed the sky, gathering intelligence. The pressure mounted from above and below. The British submarine remained hidden, a silent guardian. The Chinese sought any weakness, probing the carrier group's defenses. The British showed they would not be blinded or intimidated. The sky was alive with engines and rotors, the tension palpable. The sailors below felt the threat from every direction. The standoff had expanded, sea, air, and under the waves. The Prince of Wales was surrounded, but not isolated. Every move was watched, every action calculated. The situation grew more complex by the minute. The crew's resolve was tested on every front. The confrontation was now a multi-dimensional chess match. The stakes had never been higher. New threats appeared. Fast-moving Chinese Type 22 missile boats, a wolf pack armed with deadly missiles. They circled the British carrier group, darting unpredictably, searching for weakness. The alarm for attack blared, tension spiking. British sailors manned rapid-firing guns, tracking the boats, fingers poised on triggers. The order to fire never came. Restraint was vital. The Chinese boats taunted over the radio. "British ship, you are big and slow. We are fast. You cannot escape." The psychological pressure was immense. The British held their discipline, refusing to be provoked. The fast boats pressed closer, their intent unmistakable. The crew waited, nerves stretched to the breaking point. One mistake could start a war. The Prince of Wales was surrounded, but the line held. The British gunners tracked every move, ready but restrained. The Chinese sought to intimidate, but the British would not yield. The standoff was now a test of nerves and professionalism. The crew's unity was their greatest strength. The threat was real, but so was their resolve. The confrontation reached a fever pitch. The next moment could decide everything. Surrounded and under pressure, the crew of HMS Prince of Wales showed unwavering discipline. Gunners tracked targets, but held their fire, knowing the cost of a single mistake. The captain remained calm, adjusting course to complicate the Chinese attack. His leadership steadied the crew. Communications relayed the situation to British command and allies. Every move was being watched. The Merlin helicopter expanded its search, scanning for new threats. Every sailor played their part, from engineers to pilots. The ship was a community united by purpose. The world's eyes were on them. The British restraint was a message. They would not be provoked into starting a war. The crew's professionalism was their shield. The Prince of Wales stood firm, ready for whatever came next. The tension was immense, but the line never broke. The ship's defenses were ready, but the hope was for peace. The crew's unity and discipline were their greatest weapons. The standoff continued, the outcome uncertain. The Prince of Wales would not be the first to fire. The captain faced an impossible choice: defend his ship or risk starting a war. The Chinese boats pressed closer, radar jamming intensified. He weighed his options: hold course, escalate, or withdraw. Each choice carried enormous risk. He communicated with superiors, laying out the situation and his options. In the end, he chose to hold the line, trusting his crew and defenses. He broadcast a clear message: "We are a British warship in international waters. We will defend ourselves if fired upon, but we will not fire first." The message was for the Chinese, his crew, and the world. It was a plea for de-escalation and a statement of resolve. The burden of command was heavy, but the captain stood firm. The crew listened, reassured by his calm. The Prince of Wales was ready for whatever came next. The world watched, waiting for the next move. The captain's decision was clear: strength with restraint. The standoff hung in the balance. The crew's discipline was their shield. The captain's resolve was their anchor. The next moments would decide their fate. The Prince of Wales held its course. The confrontation was at its peak. For hours, the tension held. Chinese boats circling, destroyer looming, drone overhead. The British crew stayed ready, nerves taut. As the sun set, a shift began. One by one, the Chinese fast boats peeled away, heading back toward their coast. The destroyer turned, its speed dropping. The radio crackled. "British warship, we are watching you. This is our sea." The message was a final claim, not a threat. The electronic jamming ceased. Radar screens cleared. The drone and helicopter returned to their ships. The sky and sea grew quiet. The standoff was over. The immediate danger had passed. Relief swept through the Prince of Wales, but caution remained. The crew stood down slowly, discipline never wavering. The captain watched the Chinese ships fade into the distance. The mission was complete. No shots fired, no ground given. The Prince of Wales sailed on, the sea calm once more. The crew had faced the storm and held firm. The world had witnessed a test of resolve. The fragile peace held, but the memory lingered. The South China Sea was quiet, for now. The shadow of conflict remained. In the days that followed, both sides claimed victory. Britain praised its crew's professionalism and restraint. China declared it had defended its sovereignty. The truth was more complicated. The sailors felt like survivors, not victors. The memory of alarms and threats lingered. The incident was a stark reminder of the risks in these contested waters. Each encounter raises the stakes, setting new norms for confrontation. The path from standoff to war is dangerously short. The South China Sea remains a flashpoint, one chapter in a larger struggle. The Prince of Wales sailed on, questions unresolved. How can peace be maintained? What will it take to prevent the next crisis? The answers are unclear. The future of this vital region remains uncertain.